Hi everyone, this is Melissa the Stamp Doc, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a card in a box. This is a fun card that features some pop-up elements, and the card itself folds flat. So let's get started. This is what it looks like when it is open, fully open, and you can see I've got different elements stacked inside there. This one was made with the bubble over stamp set, and I do have more information of it on my blog. So you're going to want to start with a base of 12 by 12 cardstock, and you're going to want to use the Stampin' Trimmer to trim this down to 6.5 inches by 12 inches. I like to use the Stampin' Trimmer because I can do both my cutting and my scoring with it. So then you're going to move it down to the 3 3/4 inch line, and you want to score that. So you don't have to change direction or anything for that, but get a nice, good, crisp score line. Turn your paper so that it's facing the opposite direction. And again, you're going to make some score lines here. You want to start with 2 3/4. And I run that across a couple of times. 5.5 inches. And you could also use your score tool for this if you prefer to do that. 8 1/4 inches and also 11 inches, and that will give you all of your score marks that you're going to need for this project. So then on the smallest flap, and you're going to want to have the smaller edge facing you, you're going to cut down to that horizontal score line. And then on the bottom part of that flap, you're going to cut up at an angle. So I'm hoping you can see that pretty well and how that looks. There you go. And that's what's going to fold in there. Okay. And then on the rest of those top flaps, you want to cut down to that middle score line. You're going to do that on each area. So the smaller flaps are on top and the larger flaps are on bottom. And you'll see that's what your finished card base will look like. Now you need to cut a few other pieces. You need a pattern piece of paper for the inside back of your box at 2.5 inches by 6 inches. A piece of Whisper White that you can use for your back panel. This is where you'll put your greeting. And then 6 pieces of Designer Series paper that measure 2.5 inches square. Those are going to go on all of your top flaps. And then you've got 3 pieces that are 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. This should just be coordinating, and this is what's going to go on the outside bottom of your card. Then you need 2 strips of the same color cardstock as your base. Those need to measure 1 inch by 4 3/4 and score them from 1 inch at each side. So now you're going to place all of your papers. So with your smallest flap to the right, you're going to put your back piece on, and then all of those. And once you have that, you're going to make sure that you've folded on all of your score lines. And you're going to put some of the tear and tape on the box for assembly. Now, I like this tape because you can easily tear it, then just remove the paper backing, and it's going to do a really nice tight hold for you. So I've already peeled the backing off of this one. I'm going to fold that in. I've already folded on all the score lines so it's nice and crisp. And you're just going to fold that in and then fold the opposite flap on top of it, and then smooth that out and make sure you get a really good seal there. Okay. And then you're going to have to work with your box a little bit just to get it so that it will stand up straight. Remember that back part of it will just stand up straight the whole time, so you don't have to move that down. Next, we're going to use those 2 little strips, and I've put some of the tear and tape adhesive on both of those 1 inch ends. And you're going to put one towards the front. You're going to make those ends facing backwards, so it's kind of like an N as in Nancy, and you're going to put that in there and adhere that up against the sides. So it's kind of hard to see. I'm going to tilt this up so you can see it a little better, but it's just right inside there at the top. Then you're going to do the same for the other piece, and that one will be more like a U shape in there. So both of those are kind of pointing into the middle, so hopefully that makes sense. And then those are what you're going to add your elements to. So once you've got this base, you can create any type of card that you want. So it just varies by the type of elements you put in them. So I'm going to show you several samples. This is the finished Toil and Trouble one, and I use the Cauldron Bubble stamp set. And you can see that's got a little ghost that kind of flies up. I put him on some acetate. That's just a fun little way to have it flying through the air. And all of those elements were colored with our Stampin' Blends. I do have this one already up on my blog, so you can search for that. The next one I did with the Festive Farmhouse Suite. This is the Farmhouse Christmas stamp set and dies, and then the Festive Farmhouse Designer Series paper. I think this is one of my favorite ones. It's very simple, but I just love the little truck and the house and that little fence post. It's just a very cute Christmas card. And then finally, I have the Santa's Workshop. And I just used the Designer Series paper for this to die cut those elements and added those to the card. Now, I haven't shown you the back of a card, but this one I did go ahead and finish off the back so that I could put a greeting on there. But this is where you would put your greeting for your card. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please be sure to subscribe and visit my blog if you would like to see more. Have a great day.